Welcome to Up on Game presents Taylor Scouting. Coach Randy Taylor is bringing his 40-plus years of knowledge to you. This is Taylor Scouting. And now, here's Coach Randy Taylor.
So, hey, this is Coach Taylor again with the Up on Game Network. Up on Game presents Taylor Scouting. We are here with another podcast that, like always, you can follow us and find us on wherever you get your podcasts, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. You can find us on YouTube on Up on Game Presents. So all of the social media sites, we are available. So this show today I'm fired up about because one of my buddies, two-time Florida State champ, as coach at Escambia High School in Pensacola, Florida, where Dwight Thomas coached Emmett Smith, the NFL Hall of Fame running back, and was a part of the staff, legendary staff in Florida at Merritt Island Mustangs in the early 70s. Now, that just scratches the surface of Coach's career, and he's currently evaluating prospects for Catapult Sports in the best area for college football prospects in America, the Southeast. And we'll talk a little bit more about exactly where he is and what he does. So welcome, Coach Dwight Thomas. Glad to have you, brother.
Proud to be here and getting to see you, man. You and Randy Rogers, Randy Taylor, and Dwight Thomas. Those are my three names that when I think about the United States of America, high school football coaching, college coaching, I think of those three names. So I am proud to be part of this with you, boy.
We covered it all, man. So talk about your coaching days and some of the teams you've been a part of in Florida and different places that you've been.
Pleased to, man, because I am so proud. I don't know anybody that has the three mentors, let me change that, better three mentors than I did. I started in 1965 with Gene Cox, at that time the winningest coach in the history of Florida football. The guy that loved the game, he loved his family, and he loved his religion, and that was it. And I learned and I watched him grow. I grew from him. That was at Leon Lyons in Tallahassee, Florida. Then went to Cocoa Beach and Merritt Island. Lured me over. I was head coach at Cocoa Beach, thinking I was, doing a good job. And we had 8 shutouts one year. Only 2 teams even scored on us. But every year, Eddie Feely, Gerald Odom, over at Merritt Island, they asked me to come over and join their staff. They saw something in me, some energy, something they were needing to go all the way. So I finally gave in the very first year, undefeated state champ, played, matter of fact, Leon in the state championship in Tallahassee at FSU Stadium. And then I left there, went to Choctahatchee, was very, very successful there. We were 32-12, but the superintendent decided that he wanted to go a different direction. Have you ever heard that before, Randy? We got to go in a different direction. Yes. And matter of fact, if I had a son, I'd want you to coach him. But we got to bring in somebody here. Everywhere you've been, y'all been state champs, but you've been as a defensive coordinator, never as a head coach. So we're going to bring somebody in. They brought in a guy that won 5. They fired him in 2 years. But anyway, that opened the door for me to Escambia High School came open. It was so bad, nobody applied. The principal heard I'd got fired on Christmas Day, called me over for an interview. I go over and interview. So I drive 9 years, 100 miles a day for 9 years so that I can coach Emmett Smith and Emery Smith and Eric Smith. And but if I hadn't got fired, I would have coached against Emmett Smith. How about that for going from the outhouse to the penthouse? So when you think about every boy that ever put the ball under his arm in the history of our game, in the history of the United States of America, he has outdone them all. You can decide if you're a Barry Sanders or Walter Payton, whoever you want to say is the best running back, but he's outdone them all. and I had the honor of coaching him. Never tardied to a meeting in 4 years. Never missed a practice in 4 years. I never heard him swear one time in 4 years. Biological mother and father at home. That says it all. So that was the route. And then after him, Randy, we hit a wall somewhere. After with Emmett, getting to meet all of my goals, decided I didn't want to coach anymore, but I didn't want to quit because when coaches quit, we die. So I didn't want to die. Couldn't afford to live on teacher retirement. So some head coach, at that time, all the head coaches come to office. You used to come to my office. So one of them said, Dwight, why don't you start combine? Why don't you do what they do in Indianapolis for the NFL to determine how many million they're going to pay that guy? You start that in high school. And here's the deal, Dwight, we'll pay you to do that. Oh, there's my niche. So you're looking at the guy that ran the first high school combine in America. Before anybody, before Rival, Scout, Under Armour, ESPN, On3, I don't care. Before any of that, we started it. I say that proudly to you, Randy, because you're one of my idols. When I grow up, you're the guy I want to be. So, that allowed me to do that. I had to give up head coaching and do that. So I went back and closed out my career right back where I started at Leon High School because my daughter was going there and I wanted to be where she was. And in the summer, I ran my combines. So give you a long story right there. Sorry it took so long.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to get the flavor and get a little bit of your, get people to know you a little bit. And I care about you and feel about you like you do me and Randy Rogers and those, that whole thing we've always talked about. But what I want to do, Coach, is these shows, these podcasts, I think I try to educate, and you are one of the best and somebody that I've learned from over the years. So what I want to do is let's talk about recruiting and scouting. And so the first thing I wanted to find out from you is, what is the first thing you look for in a prospect?
That is a good question. And let's just go to where I go. I go to camps. I sleep in the dorm with the players. I eat on the training table with them. I'm with the coaches 24 hours a day. After we put them to bed, then we have our meeting. So I'm gonna see players. I'm gonna be a value. I'm not some guy that sits in. Now I do this. I'm like right now. I'm sitting in my office. You see the plaques on the wall. I mean, this is where I go. But I got to go see the kids before I can evaluate a guy. I want to listen to them. I want to. They don't know me, so I don't talk to kids. I don't call them. I've done this for 33 years. No kid's ever paid me a penny, and I've never called a kid. I'm going to go see the players. I'm going to evaluate what I hear and see, because down the road somewhere, like today, I get a call today. I'm not going to say who it was, what college or whatever. Question about a kid. So if I don't know the answer, I'm going to get him the answer, because I have the respect of 590 head coaches in Florida. Those are the guys I try to keep parents off their back, because once they get their information to me, 959 college coaches nationwide at all levels have what I see and hear. They're the only one to see it. You notice you've never seen. Well, yeah, you have seen what I do, because when you were the recruiting coordinator, you saw it. But only the college coaches that pay me that will see anything. I'm not social media. I'm strictly working for the college coach. So the first thing I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for character. I mean, it may sound corny to you, maybe a cliche. We all got players. What do you have a player that when the time, because in our game, bad things happen in our game. It's how you deal with those bad things. And that's what makes a champion. You identify a weakness, something you're not good at. Then you work on that, because, if you're not fast, guess what? You don't want to run track. Emmett asked me, Coach, I want to be the best player I can be. What route we're going to take, what I need to do? It's very simple. In the fall, we're going to play football. In the winter, we're going to be on the weightlifting team. And in the spring, we're going to be on the track team. But Coach, I like to win. The strongest kid in Florida that time, Chili Dog, was on our team. So I'm never going to win a meet. The fastest guy on our team, Derek Whitehurst, was on our team. It doesn't matter. We're getting bigger, faster, and stronger, and that's the route we're going to take. And that's what we did. And we lifted 5 days a week, and we ran track.
Coach, does the grad year matter when you're saying that? I mean, is there a way that a kid can grow up? I mean, do you want to see him more than once?
Coach, I learned this from one of my competitors who's passed away now. The thing, because I saw his stuff too. And the thing that I looked in there and I saw, he would tell the recruiters, and you probably subscribe to him, so you want him to say his name, but he's going to tell you how many times he's seen him and how many events he's going to see him and what his evaluations are at each one of them. So that's what all the guys that are with me, they go in my comments and they're going to read how many times I've seen the kid, what his results were, what his stats are, what everything that I feel about him is under the comments. The head coaches that share their information with me, they never see. So, I mean, it's very private, very secure, their grades, their address, all the personal contact. So everything is in there for those 959 college coaches that pay Catapult Sports for what I do in Florida. So it's very important. Everything is very important. That's why I'm going to put it all in there. And thanks for asking that, because not a lot of people understand that. They just think that, results. I mean, that's just one small part is his stats. That's a small part because it depends on who he's playing and all that.
Right. How much do you have to project the prospect's top end? And I got a couple of body type questions from there. How much do you project the prospect's top end?
For me, this is going to really sound basic. From me, I want a guy that's got the heart and the fight, the guy that got the dog, the one that's going to play hard all the time, don't take plays off, not jealous, not envious, going to work hard and do all of those things. I want to see, that's the guy that I want to promote. And I tell them, there's two things: be prompt, be on time. And that's why I told you with Emmett, never tardy to a meeting, never miss a practice. I mean, you don't swear, you don't be negative. I had to pull him in the first quarter sometime because we'd be so far ahead, and I'm not going to run it up on anybody. So, but you think he complained or gripe? No, he went down and cheered for the defense. So that's the team player. I'm looking for the team aspect. I'm looking for what you bring to the table. And it's the body size is minute for me, but it ain't for those guys that you, as a recruiting coordinator at UCLA, you told your guys, don't bring me no 6-foot lineman in here. You probably said that. I don't know. I'm putting words in your mouth. Maybe you didn't. But they're looking for it. So you better give them the height. You better give them the weight. You better give them what they want to look for. But they got to go to my notes to find out what I truly think. May sound corny to you, man, but that's what
I'm the same way. I have the same value system that you do on a lot of that, and I think you have to be successful in what we do because you're putting your name on a kid, and you got to know that he's not going to be what some people call coach killers,
or firers.
Right.
Coach firers.
Right, exactly. Hey, what do you put more value on, length or strength? Let's get into some of them body types. And by the way, I wouldn't want a 6-footer unless he was a D tackle.
Yeah, there you go. No stock specifically. That's why I started combines. I want to get objective, verified data. Back then, it was the click of the stopwatch. Then it became the laser. And now, guess what Catapult Sports has brought to the table? Right now, we're putting the GPS wearables on them, the pod in the back, the satellite's reading it, and everybody that's subscribed to our service, and they all are now, because there's two things you come to us for. That's the portal, and you come to us for GPS wearables. So Catapult Sports has those two things. And so we go through us. And you've been by our booth at the convention, and you see the action. You see all the college coaches there. What's the latest where we are? But right now, it's the verified data that we're collecting from and getting the CBS files and putting that out there, miles per hour. We are going to do away with handheld. We're going to do away with laser. It's going to become miles per hour. And that's where we are right now. We're looking at that. But I still haven't answered your question on length, but we'll get back to that.
Well, go ahead and do that. What do you like more? Would you rather have a guy with some length, or a guy maybe a shorter arm guy with strength? And you may take them both, but
yeah.
But if you could just you walk up and you're looking at a prospect and you see a guy with certain arm length and a body type and
see it.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to get the old scout to say, what do I love when I first see a kid?
All right. You know, one of my favorite under my comments, one of my favorite things I love to put in there is long, lean running machine. You get me that long, lean running machine that is tireless and what I like to call relentless in pursuit and on the trail. I want that guy. And boy, I saw it the other night. Prime example, this little Wall McCray down at Mainland down here. Oh my gosh, that guy's long, lean running machine that can go that way and that way, and no time elapses. I mean, he is sudden. So yes, I'm looking for that. I'm looking for the length. I'm looking for the long arms and so forth. So I'm all over that, and I love putting that in my comments.
And then you have speed and quickness. So feet is an important part of the equation. And then you got to throw flexibility into it if a kid can bend. So go through how you look at a kid and what happens when you see a stiff kid but he can run.
Oh my gosh. I love that's another one of my favorite comments. He can bend and run. See, you and I are on the same page, same terminology, same everything. So you get that guy that can deliver the punch, control the blocker, and disconnect and accelerate the ball, be it the quarterback, the running back, whatever. That's the guy you want. You want the strong. You got to have the strong punch. You got to have the strong hands. You got to work to get your hands on the inside on the breastplate. If you're an offensive lineman, you got to get the hands in there to control that defensive guy. Do a little holding. You don't get caught on that. So, but I'm telling you, the strength, the speed, the flexibility, those things we're looking for. I'll give you another example. There's a lineman here matter of fact, his name's Thomas. How about that? Solomon Thomas at Range here in Jacksonville. Saw him as a 9th grader. Coach telling me, you got to look at this guy. So I watched him, most intent, paid attention to detail. He is now the most sought after offensive lineman in North Florida, or probably Florida. I mean, he's a junior. You pull him up, you'll see what I'm talking about. Saw Coach. I was at the Trinity Catholic Range game last week, as a matter of fact. All the head coach could talk about was that lineman and how hard to block, and I mean hard to get rid of because he has got the flexibility, can bend, can move, got the power, got the bulk, got the strength. So yeah, very important in today's game.
Is there a fundamentals make a huge impact on you compared to physical ability or talents?
Oh boy, you ask good questions. Because I'm telling you, and this is another thing I like to put in. I like to put in good fundamental, good stands, good get off. The things along those lines. When you see those at camp or you see those at practice, you watch them in pregame and you watch them in the game and you see them executing those fundamentals. Very important. You got to be fundamentally sound. You got to be fundamentally sound to be able to play today and be successful, I think.
Yeah. So here's where we're going to go now. Now we're going to really get into your evaluation of what level a guy can play. So what's the difference between, in your mind, an FCS player and a Power 5 FBS prospect? Where's the difference?
That's another good one, because there's a finite difference in there, because the size, the strength, all the things we're talking about comes into the play there. But FBS, to me, and here's all the guys that work with me and have worked with me for 30 years, they know if I err on the level, because I rate them all, if I err, I'm going to err one level up. So if I'm an FCS guy, I want, and we go by 0.5. So in other words, the lower the number, the better. Player that won is Emmett. Okay. So as we look at players, we got to plug them in somewhere. And that's part of what I love about what I do. And that's why I love signing day, because I want to get verified where he actually signs up. Because if we could talk a whole lot about offers today, as back to when you used to make an offer. It was a legit offer. That ain't what's happening today. So we gotta be able to get them close and always be consistent. So that one guy is the producer. The two is Power 5. The one is the elite guy. That's the national recruit. If I've done my job, everybody in America will offer, not recruit, will offer. That's a one. I have 15 of them in Florida in the 24 class. I guarantee you all 15 will play on Sunday. Not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just saying that's how much confidence I've got, because I've seen them all. I've evaluated them all, and that's where they are. They all got it. So that's hopefully I've answered your question, because that's a real good question, man.
Yeah. I've been throwing some good ones at you, Coach, and I know you can answer them, because I just want, if anybody wants to get into this business of scouting or is going to go scout for a college team, and I believe this, that what we do is different than the guys who are evaluating for the college program, because they are only going to get 5 or 10 of those kids, and we got to rate them all. So there's a huge difference, and the consequences for them are much greater than maybe they are for us as well. So
yes, sir. Good point.
Getting your expert opinion on some of these detail things is what I really wanted to get out of you, because of how I feel about your ability to do this. And just as a last thing, Coach, what's your advice to kids to work on? What would you be telling your son or your players to be working on, so that college coaches are going to want to recruit you?
And I basically do that every day. I like to praise them for the following things. I like to praise them, and I do it. If I hear a kid say yes, sir, or no, sir, he's going to get it quickly from me. Keep saying that, because that will take you a long way. That's a little small thing, but it is a big thing. I want to know about the work ethic. I want to know if he's willing to lift 5 days a week, if he feels like that's important. It is to me. As a head football coach, back when I coached, there was 2 things. I was going to do more than anybody I coached against. I was going to lift more weights. So we lifted 5 days a week. I was going to have, at that time, we had to bus our kids to Black Mountain, to FCA huddle group. Now they're in our own. We all have our own huddle groups now. But those are the 2 things. Those are important things to me. And so we put a lot of time and energy into that. But I want to know if they got the work ethic, if they have the character, and it's tough. I understand that. At Escambia High School, only 7% of my kids had a biological mother and father at home. And guess who one of those was? That's Emmett Smith. So you can see how that goes. So that 93 other percent, me and that segment coach was his father figure. So we take that real serious and we work real hard on that. So, but you got to know those things too before you go making decisions on if a guy's got good character or not. You got to know. So we'll work real hard on that. But that hopefully that answers your question. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get. I knew you would have a good answer for that. And it's been fun doing this. I learn something from you every time I talk to you.
Thank you.
And I think we've all learned a lot from a definite guru of evaluating. I'm calling you a guru, Coach. So I Coach Thomas, I appreciate you being on the show. Thanks for joining us on the Up on Game Network's Taylor Scouting Podcast. And folks, join us for more episodes of Taylor Scouting on the Up on Game Network. You can follow us on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you view your podcasts. And on YouTube, we're on Up on Game Presents Taylor Scouting. So again, appreciate you, Coach, for being on. And I want to give our listeners one last thing after we say goodbye to you, brother.
Have a good day.
Thanks.
Take care of yourself, man.
You got it, buddy.
Bye-bye.
So rate and review us, folks, and we will see you on our next podcast. This airs on Fridays at 9 a.m. on the Up on Game Network, and that is Pacific time, folks. Thanks a lot.